we go. Okay. Oh, hi, Brian. How's it going?
It's going well. How are you
Good.
guys?
Good deal. It's going great. Um, well, let me get back to the meeting here real quick so that I can make sure that I'm giving everybody the right stuff. Okay. So this is the um, April Glenside meeting. Appreciate everybody being on. We don't have, I think, a ton of stuff to discuss. We got just a couple weeks before the fest, but we'll go ahead and be part of the conversation here. Um, and oh, Grant, you're on too. That's great. Anyway, start things off. I know, Brian, you've got some other things going on, and you asked if you could kind of take on and start things so that you can take care of your other things tonight. So I don't have any announcements, so let's go ahead and do the secretary's report.
Very good. So since we're recording this, I need everybody to speak very clearly during the meeting there so that way I can take good notes afterwards, okay? So
Fair enough.
let's see here. Let me do a quick share here first.
Okay.
Share screen. There we go.
Okay.
Okay, so last month there, in attendance there, we had Jim, Eric, Grant L, Tony was with us, David, and let's get this out of the way here. David Davidson, John Mark was with us, Bruce, Rich, and myself made up the meeting last month. To start things off, we talked about the board meeting to be reviewing the year-end finances that basically you guys had that meeting. Then we went into talking about other topics there. We still wanted to do a reminder there about reviewing admin access to the Tandy list.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing that might wait until after Cocoa Fest here.
Correct.
We'll get that done. Rich stated that he did have a copy of and I believe I had it right, the EIN
Mm-hmm.
stub
That's
that he
right.
needed for taxes.
Yep.
And with that, then Jim made a motion to approve. Eric moved to approve it, and Grant seconded it. And everyone was in favor and no opposed.
Okay.
Moving on to the treasurer's report. Still trying to iron out a schedule there. I know Eric is with the time and when he gets the bank statements, we're still trying to get a way of being able to report that. So I'm thinking he's still working with that. Eric also said that he opened up a new bank account with Wintrust, and he has a debit card to go along with that, so we can make purchases if needed.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Then onto the director's update. We started out with Grant, kind of giving a little update with with Cocoa Fest, and at that time, he mentioned that the tables are almost gone, and there was 4 left, and I believe that's now down to 0.
It is.
Grant, I'm sure will probably update us here. He mentioned that we'll have 6 presenters this year, and there was some discussion about the club T-shirts for the fest, and he stated that that they're selling well, and so far we've received $30 in revenue from those sales. Grant mentioned that he would be there on the 20th to go with Tony to pick up the items at John's house if we needed that. Eric mentioned that he picked up 2 totes from somebody who made a donation to the club there. Annette, John's wife, and this kind of circles back to the previous statement here, asked if the items could be picked up 2 weeks before the fest. I believe they were going to have an auction or something, so they wanted all the items out by the 15th of April. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they're going to be purged. And Tony and Eric mentioned that they would be able to go there and to pick up those items ahead of time. So there'll be no need for us to do that near the fest, so that'll be nice.
Okay.
Grant and Tony will be working with Rich on the registration process for Cocoa Fest. With that, we moved on to the newsletter. Jim had reached out to Grant B, and Grant had mentioned that he was still trying to get the newsletter out, but there was some things happening there that I think was kind of making the timeline tight for him. So he was, and I don't think we've seen anything yet.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Um, uh, and then I wasn't too sure about this. I tried to go back and listen. So John Mark, forgive me on this one, but you mentioned something about you were working with something to do some text to speech. And I don't know if that was something to be able to someone could click on it and read or listen to the newsletter being spoken. I think is what you were trying to what we're talking about there. I tried to go back and listen to the video. I guess I was a little unsure about that, but I wanted to at least get that in the notes here.
Oh,
For
my
new
microphone was off. I was saying that I'm dyslexic and I have trouble reading. So I was looking if there was some way to have an audio version of the newsletter.
Okay, very good. Okay, that's how it tied in. Okay, thank you.
We should hire a narrator.
I vote for Morgan Freeman.
There you go.
RC Bray is my vote.
Okay.
With new business, it was announced that MailChimp, which used to be free, now they have a change in policy. So if you have more than 500, they're not going to charge you. And for us, we're at 700 plus on our list. And so we are going to be looking for another option besides MailChimp. Jim also announced that Bob Swagger, there was going to be a celebration of it. What's that?
It's actually Swoger, SWOGER. So you might want to update that wherever you are. I don't know if it's a net up above. I don't know if you put Swagger up there, but it's Swoger.
Swoger, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a celebration of life for him. It was going to be on March 5th.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going to look at sending some flowers or doing some kind of a donation on his behalf.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim made a motion for the club to use club dollars for this.
Mm-hmm.
Eric made the motion and Rich seconded that.
Mm-hmm.
And no one was opposed. All in favor for that.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jim also brought up the idea of posting the articles of the newsletter to the website. So that way we're not waiting for items to pile up for a quarter at a time, and then they could be more timely so people could post them as they're completed. And then once a quarter, we could just have to compile those together into a newsletter form. Eric had asked the question if we were going to have awards this year, and Grant said that we would not have any awards this year, but maybe we could look at it as an option for next year. And then wrapping things up, John Mark had shared with us that he had a new job, and he was excited about that and kind of explained a little bit what he was going to be doing. And with that, Jim made a motion to end the meeting. John Mark moved to close the meeting. Grant seconded it, and everybody was all in favor and no opposed. So
I would. There's a couple things. I mean, I don't have a problem with the notes. I remember everything. That's fine. I would say, happy that John Mark shared, where he was working now, but I'm not sure that's not sure that's club business. So I'm not sure we need to record that. And then the other one is up above. It said the March meeting. We might want to go ahead and put the actual date of the March meeting in there. I know it's in the title of the document, but should the text be copied somewhere else, it'll lose the actual date because it just says March 2023, and I think it was March 3rd. So if you
yes, it was.
Anyway, so that's
Yep.
That was there. So any questions? Any other questions on the secretary's report?
Not so much a question, but maybe a suggestion that might be a good idea, just for trivial sake, to put start and ending times.
Okay, that's fair. Oh, good point. So, yeah, probably, yeah. I mean, that's we do start then the ending time I guess what you can do is just figure out how long the video was and whatever, and
Yep.
add that to 7:30.
Okay.
Okay. I'd love to entertain a motion to approve the March minutes.
Motion to approve by John Mark.
John Mark motion. Joseph John Mark moved. Do I have a second?
I will second.
Grant Leedy seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Cool. Well, Brian, I will we'll continue to record, and we'll try and be very articulate so that you can do the minutes. So why don't you? I'm glad to have you join, and we'll see you. Or will we be seeing you at the fest?
At this moment in time, I intend on being there. Yes.
Good,
So
good deal.
unless something changes, but that's my plan. I look forward to being there and seeing all of you there.
Okay.
So I missed the last one there, so it was kind of unfortunate timing though, but very excited about this one. Looks like we're gonna have good attendance.
Yep.
Full tables, so it should be a good time.
Yeah, nice new venue, and so I'm excited about that.
Yep.
Cool. Okay,
Very
well, I am
Okay.
going to talk to you later. I'm gonna Eric is unfortunately not able to join this evening. He let me know, so I'm gonna bring up the treasurer's reports. He does actually have the treasurer's reports done for January, February, and March, so we are in good shape now. So I will bring them up here. Let me share the screen here. Share screen and let's just share right here. So, okay, so can everybody see the PDF? Hopefully.
Yes.
Okay. Well, good. Let me make it a little bit smaller here so that everybody can see. So this is the January statement of activity. So we're still working kind of some of the details on the, we're using QuickBooks now. So a little bit different view or whatnot. But the meat's down here. So at the beginning of the year, we had $19,304 in the accounts. We had some expenditures, and I can go into detail on those if folks are interested. So we ended the month at $17,463, and 98 cents. Some of these are related to fest expenses that are, and then you've got right here, you've got $458. I believe there's an additional amount of money, or this is for meals and vendors. So this is money that we have, but we're not counting it as part of the total assets at this point because we haven't actually had the fest. So it's the proper way to do this. It's a little weird, I think, for some folks because it's actually in our checking account, but we don't count it as revenue until after the fest is over. So that's what those items are there. And then we've got some other items here as well that you can be aware of. So that is January, so 17,000.
So yeah, if I can speak to that for a second,
Yeah.
just let you know the liabilities for that. Those are the dinners.
Yeah.
So those are people have paid us for the dinner, and then we'll pay
Right.
the hotel this month actually for that.
Right. 258 actually is dinners in this particular month, and $200 must have been vendor payments. So, and we've got some more going in. I mean, you'll see some more of these in February and March as well. So these were just the ones that came in January, but yes, dinners are in there, and you're right. We'll see them drop to the bottom line, and then we'll see them disappear as we pay the venue. So, sorry.
Excuse me, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a quick question here before I jump off. As far as the minutes go, what items, as far as the treasurer's report, do you want to have included in the minutes, or how much detail do you want in the minutes
I don't
with these reports?
I don't think that there's any. I just think, we presented the treasurer's report, any conversation on the treasurer's report, and then the treasurer's report was approved or not, right? I
Okay,
don't think you need to
very good.
put these numbers because, first of all, uh, not that I think we're particularly important in the grand scheme of things, um, but technically speaking, this information should really only be available to members. And I realize that our membership is open to everybody, but technically speaking, it's not necessarily supposed to be a public, completely um, open thing every month. There is a yearly piece of information that's required for IRS, but the individual months are not necessary to share to everybody. So I think it's just enough that we have approved the treasurer's report, and we always have them available if members want to look back and see the treasurer's report.
Okay, fair
Okay.
enough. I was looking at some past secretaries' reports, and some had more or less detail, and I didn't know what you wanted included then, so.
Yeah,
Very good.
Rich had put them in there, but then it was just double, right? He was just putting them in there, and we decided that didn't seem to be um, important. If you want to put a total amount in there, that I suppose that's okay, but I mean, the less work you
No,
have to do, the better, right?
yep, nope, I agree. Like you said, the content is available if somebody has any questions, so. Yep,
Correct.
great. Okay, thanks, Jim.
No problem. Here is February's. So again, to Grant's point, there was another $300 in meals and another $200 of vendor payments. And then, so we have $17,386 in the treasury as of the end of February. So we have that in there. And then for March, goodness, everything just blows up so big here. For March, so in this case, I believe, and Grant, you have to keep me honest here, but I think in March we paid the venue a portion of the fee to rent the venue. Is that correct?
No, not for March. We did not.
Oh, really? Was it in February?
No, we paid the $1,000 deposit when we signed the contract, which was been back in. When did we sign the contract? I want to say that was back in like August, September. So I don't know
Okay.
what the 1,035 is.
Yeah, I'll have to check with Eric on that. Obviously, a lot of people are getting involved in doing their the meals, right? So I think it was like $43 a meal. Is that right?
That's correct.
And so this is like 20 meals right there, right? $860. And then of course $873 for vendor tables and whatnot, finishing up the vendor tables. So we're back up at around $18,000, $18,500 in total balance in the treasury at the end of March. And then Eric was nice enough to do a quarter one view, so I'll just show the whole quarter one view there, of course. So with that, that $1,000 item right there that brought us down, there's some puts and takes, but there's your 18,606, and let me get this a little bit. I guess that's the way it's going to be. So we have at the start of the year we were at 19,842, and now we're at 18,606. So I guess, is there any questions about the treasurer's reports?
Yeah, I just like to have a breakdown what that 1,035 is. Or
Yeah,
what is
yeah,
it?
I agree. I agree. Well, we can hold off on the March one. I wasn't planning on having the March available since, we tend to be kind of a month behind given that we're having the meetings in the beginning of the month. So I'm happy to carve that one out, and we can ask Eric to provide some additional detail on that next month. Or actually, we can ask him to do it. It'd probably be in June, because we won't be having a May meeting. We'll be having kind of a mini meeting at the show, and then we won't have a meeting in May. So, but if everyone's okay with the January and February the January and February treasury reports. I'd love to get a motion to approve these, so that
I'll make a motion to approve the January and February treasury reports.
okay. If I see a motion on the floor from Grant, is there a second?
Crickets? Hello?
I'll
Second.
second it.
Second.
I got Randy seconding it, so and then John, Mark afterwards, but Randy beat the buzzer. Any other questions on the January or February treasurer's reports? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay. January and February treasury reports are approved. And so I'm going to go ahead and unshare here. Give me 1 second to find where let's see. How do you stop? There it is. Stop sharing. Okay. All right. Let me bring up our next item of business, which I believe is Grant. You're on for the next item of
Hey.
business.
Awesome. So just to let everybody know, we are now officially 2 weeks away from Cocoa Fest.
That's right.
So I did have a conversation today with the hotel. Things went very well. Just a quick side note, the hotel has decided that if there's anybody out there who has not made a reservation to the hotel, they can get in contact with me and we will probably still be able to get them in at the discounted rate. So, which is good.
Okay.
Also, we have, I believe, 1 week. I'm looking at the calendar over there. 1 week before we have to close the dinners. So if you are still looking to get the dinner for $43, we will need to get that done within the next week. So,
Okay.
and right now we're sitting about 45 right now dinners, so which is not a bad showing.
Okay.
So. Also, I got some stuff from an individual. I'll leave nameless right now. That he is wanting us to hand out at the Cocoa Fest for all attendees. So it will be a nice little gift for all the people that attend.
Yay.
So yeah, that was very nice of him. Second, another thing too, and this is for you, Jim. When do you need me to give you the names of the people attending so you can get the badges printed off? When do you need that by?
I would say if there's an opportunity to get them, let's see, let me get my calendar up here real quick. So I'm going to be leaving on the 20th to come the evening on the 20th. I'm going to pack everything up on that. So I would say if I could get them by the 17th, maybe the 18th, it would be ideal. So I could print them up there and then we can do any final printing at the show.
Okay. How about I give it to you that weekend?
That's fine.
It's like, okay. So we'll get that done there as well. Other thing too is the hotel is going to give us the access to that little, I guess it's called bridal room.
Okay.
You know which I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah. So therefore we can set up and get the packets together and everything. So we'll have access to that ahead of time. We will have access to the actual rooms lunchtime on Friday. So they're going to give it to us earlier instead of the 5 o'clock. So we can start getting things set up. I will be reaching out to Tim. So therefore we can get the DCF Midwest warehouse and get the stuff over there. So I know last time we did it at 5 o'clock, but I'm hoping maybe we can get there maybe a little earlier in the day if he's available. Because I like to get that stuff set up as sooner than later if possible. But I'll be reaching out to you again, Jim, to get that with those times. Because you're going to be there on that Thursday, correct?
Correct. I'll be there Thursday evening, but I'll be there all day Friday. So
okay,
absolutely, we can do something anytime during the day on Friday.
Okay, great. So other than that, we are pretty much just down to the nitty gritty. So I just need basically whoever's going to be available to help us on that Friday to email me and let me know.
Okay.
So
I did have a question, let's see, early this week, and I know it was posted elsewhere, but Brian Weasler indicated a couple of folks were asking whether there was going to be power to the inside tables, and so thought I'd throw that out there and
Yes,
see.
it'll be just like it was at the previous venue.
Okay.
So we'll have time. Yeah, there'll be power to all tables.
Okay.
So
Good deal. Good deal. Okay. Well, I'm not aware of any other questions. Anyone have questions for Grant? Okay.
and then I know Tony's is working on the registration process. So I'm assuming he's working with Rich on that.
Um,
Go ahead.
I put a question and answer thing on the website, and so Grant, if you can look at that and see if anything could be added to it, or
Yeah, I can look at that later.
Okay.
'Cause I'm not at my computer here right now. Unfortunately, I left my power supply in a hotel in Iowa.
Are you still out storm chasing?
No, I got back yesterday. It
Oh,
was
okay.
trust me, I am tired of seeing Burlington, Iowa. But yeah, I was in Illinois on Tuesday, so it was pretty crazy over there.
Cool.
Hopefully your family survived okay, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Nothing
it
happened.
didn't I think we were in the path or something, but it didn't actually do anything here. But I did see that I was actually in Illinois, mid-state Illinois over the weekend and was coming back on Tuesday evening, and so went to the Quad Cities area on the south end off of I-280, and was going to grab some dinner and get some dinner and everything. But evidently an EF2 went through that area on Tuesday morning, and so everything was, I mean, it was kind of a lot of carnage, and all the businesses were closed. So I wasn't aware of that. Obviously not a great thing, but it happens.
Yep, Iowa City got hit pretty good too, so.
Yeah, I've been to the Quad Cities area.
Yep.
It's a nice area.
Okay. Well, Grant, thanks for giving us update. Obviously, folks have additional questions. Grant is cocofest@glensideccc.com, and he can answer all of your CocoFest related questions.
Oh, that reminds me, one other thing.
Yeah.
Jim, do you have a tip jar or something we can use for the coffee?
Yeah. I'm sure I got a jar around here somewhere, but I don't have a tip jar, so I'm thinking I guess let me know before I leave, and if you haven't found anything besides then we've got a glass jar around here, I'm sure somewhere, but no, I don't.
Okay, great.
I'm not aware of anything, um, but we'll find something.
Yeah, so just like last year, we will offer some coffee and some hot cocoa. So those things we'll be doing within reason.
Right. Well, I've been debating about whether I should or shouldn't. I thought about putting it in the meeting or the announcement that I put out that, about the 30 days and all the stuff going on and whatnot. I thought I had a paragraph that I was going to put together and put at the end, but I thought it might be a little bit too on the nose. But so I'll tell you all this on the call. Obviously, there's not a ton of people on the call, but I'll tell you on the call, and then you guys can let me know if you think it's enough that it's interesting enough that it might make a good posting or whatnot. But I wasn't aware of this, and I'm not sure that people are generally aware of this, but evidently coffee is a racket at these conference venues. So um, every gallon, all in, every gallon of coffee that's sold at the show costs the club what, $44 or $41 all in? Is that correct, Grant?
$42.
$42
Yep.
all in. So it's 10 cups of coffee, so each cup of coffee is about $4.20. Now, I'm not a coffee drinker, so I don't know if conference room coffee is just awesome coffee, but it seems like for $4.20, you could probably get some pretty awesome coffee not at the conference. So, anyway, the point is, it's, especially given that I think at the last fest we managed to down 10 gallons of coffee over, I think, the 2 days. Um, it's kind of expensive, and so I'm thinking, I might put out a posting saying, what, if you want some awesome coffee, you might want to consider walking across the street to somewhere that's great coffee, or maybe there's a coffee maker in the room or whatnot, or at least consider putting a little bit of a tip in the jar, because I feel like we get a lot of value out of the venue and everything. And I know $42 doesn't sound like a lot, but last year I think it was like 600 and some dollars for the coffee and hot chocolate that we had over the weekend. I think maybe it was closer to $1,000 by the time we got all done, and by the time you added fees and all that, which seems a lot of money for a beverage that we have at the show. So anyway, that's our coffee quandary that we are concerned about as we get ready to go for the fest.
Input.
Yes.
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah. So just, I was going to say, just to let everybody know, it's $32 per gallon, plus the expensive Illinois sales tax on top of that.
Mhm.
Plus, they also charge a 20% service charge on top of that. So,
Yep.
so it's like room service, basically, is what
Right.
is what you're getting charged. So
Tony?
go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry.
Oh, my turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was doing some thinking about the cost of coffee,
Hmm.
considering what you see in the store, what you see at McDonald's, wherever.
Hmm.
But in the hotel, not only are you paying for the coffee, but you're paying for the items in which it is served, the
Hmm.
creamer, the sugar,
Mhm.
and if you were able to add all of the time handling of stuff, you might find out that in the end they might only be really profiting by 30%.
It's potentially true. I mean, I guess I don't begrudge them.
That's all.
Yeah, I don't necessarily begrudge them. I just think, for the how I think it's best to spend club dollars. That's quite an expense for what it provides. I guess that's what I'm thinking. um, anyway, so just an interesting anecdote for those folks who are Java lovers.
And that does remind me of one thing too, real quick, Jim, if I may sidetrack you for 1 second.
Yeah.
One thing with the dinners this year is we will not be able to do the honor system.
Okay.
So as we know that in past, we usually did a dinner ticket, and then we would just put a box up there and you just put your dinner ticket in there. This venue is requiring us to do bracelets. So each person who does purchase a dinner will have to put on a bracelet. And I think the reason they're doing that for is that, because they're charging per person.
Mhm.
And plus also, since it's going to be in the restaurant too, they don't want to make sure we don't have bleed over from non Cocoa Fest attendees to participate into the buffet. So that's just something different this year that is going to be different in years past. So because we will be sitting in the restaurant still will be open, and they just don't want somebody who's not a part of the Cocoa Fest to wander in there and help themselves to the buffet. So
Right. Well, I mean, if that's what they need, then that's what they need, and obviously we'll comply. My only question is, my assumption is that you'll be handing out these bracelets as people check in during the day, or is there another time that you'll be handing out these bracelets?
So I think what we're going to do is we'll put it into the packets when people check in.
Okay. Okay.
So along with the lanyards, we got the lanyards this year as well. So I'll be putting one lanyard in there for each guest. Because
Okay.
just also another side note, lanyards are not cheap. So I know last year we stuck it onto a table and it was a free for all.
Right.
This year they're almost $2 a pop. So we don't want to be just sending those out there for a free
Okay.
for all like we did last year. So
Well, my only thought is just because I don't know, trying to think about worst case scenarios. We definitely would want to let people know as we hand them the packet. Maybe if there's a paper or something we should put in there, let them know that those bracelets are there. I mean, each bracelet is a $42 or $43 bracelet, and if they lose it, then they just lost $43. So I want to make sure that they take care of those bracelets if they come in at 8 o'clock in the morning and they grab their bracelets and then they forget where they've laid them or something through the day. Because I don't think you'll probably have an opportunity to replace bracelets at the end of the day right before dinner.
Yeah, we can. That's,
Oh,
we'll just check it off. We'll just check them off. We'll just verify that they're on the list and then give it to them. So,
okay. Well,
yeah. So if someone loses, it's not the end of the world, but yeah, we don't want to do a whole bunch of those.
okay. Well, let's just make sure that we figure, because I mean, if we can get through a fest, if we need to have bracelets and we can get through a fest without somebody losing a bracelet, I will be amazed. So,
Yes, I agree.
okay. Cool. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. So as Brian Weasler noted in the February or March minutes, sorry, I have been reaching out to Grant, not Grant Leedy, Grant Blido, who is working on the newsletter. Grant's encountered some personal challenges, and so it's been very difficult. So I did reach out to him again, and I asked him if I could get a copy of the current newsletter as it exists, because I think he's in a position now where it's going to be challenging for him to finish the newsletter, and so I was going to try and finish up what he has and get it out. I have not received anything yet, so I'm going to try and put something out prior to the show. If folks had delivered material to Salvador, or not Salvador, but Grant, Salvador, I was thinking of you if you'd already sent something to Grant. If you could forward a copy, if you happen to still have a copy of it, if you could forward stuff to me, I will try to put something together, because I really think it'd be great to have something out before the fest. Just to kind of talk about the various exhibits that we have planned and kind of things that we've got going on, and we only got 2 weeks to do that, so it won't be all that, but I thought it would be nice to have something, if possible, out before the fest. And I have not received anything from Grant yet.
Yeah, I'll check if I have something. I'm pretty sure I sent Grant some new stuff and some some of the comics.
Okay.
But whatever I sent him, I'll send it over to the president's email.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah.
So the other item, don't know that I have any new business. Most of it was wrapped up in the Cocoa Fest update, which Grant Leedy gave, but I did want to comment during the meeting last month, and because the Celebration of Life, Bob Swoger, was going to happen that weekend, that right after we had the meeting. We did make a motion. It was approved to do a donation. Flowers were not. Tony reached out to Annette, and flowers were something besides flowers was preferred, and so she had suggested the American Diabetes Association. Bob had suffered from diabetes for a number of years, and so I put in a donation for $100 to the American Diabetes Association on Bob's behalf, and I thought I would read to you. There was a little space for us to put some comments that would be delivered to Annette. So I put on behalf of the Glenside Color Computer Club, we celebrate Bob's life and his gracious help with our club throughout the years. Bob deeply cared about the club and how it could best assist others. Thank you for sharing him with us. And so that was delivered to them, I believe, before the Celebration of Life. I don't know, Tony, if you had heard anything, if she had received that or not. I didn't get a confirmation of reception, but I did get one of sending.
Well, I will tell you that Glenside people had, it was what, 4 of us,
Mm-hmm.
5 of us were at a particular table.
Mm-hmm.
And Annette, in going around the different tables introducing these people, did say that, so these are people, friends of his from the Glenside Color Computer Club, and his involvement in that with them and their involvement with him in that have pretty much helped him to keep his mind active over the past 9 years that he'd been physically incapable of being active in any way, other form.
Good. Well, impressive.
So,
okay. Cool. Well, I just thought I'd share that with everybody. I mean, obviously that was done on behalf of the club. So, and trying to think if there's anything else that was in the, I think the newsletter and the, the other thing which you probably saw, many of you who are getting the newsletter, or not newsletter, but meeting announcements via email. Last month we had to switch from MailChimp because our subscriber list is over their minimum. And so we switched to a place called MailerLite. Eric did indicate that some of the emails did bounce due to concerns around spam. So we got to kind of fix that. But hopefully a number of you received the meeting invite in your email box. And so we've switched over to using MailerLite, I think is the company name, for our mass email communications needs. So, and with that, that was all of the old business. Actually didn't have any new business. Does anyone have any new business that they need to bring up? Okay. Well, with that, I guess I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. And I guess
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
okay, Grant has made a motion to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a second?
John Mark seconds.
Okay, John Mark. Before I hold that, I just realized Randy's on. Randy, is there anything that you need to share with us concerning Tandy List?
No, that the registration issues have been resolved, and we've updated all the data that had been missed.
Okay.
And Grant, if you have any additional ones that are not in the list, let me know. And if there are any reports that anybody needs out of Tandy List, any lists, anything that you need out of the data in any way, just let me know. And if you have access to the task list, add it as a task list, and please let me know all the fields that you'd like. Share as much detail as you can so that I can just work on it. Because I can just knock those out really quick. Those are just SQL queries that are just converted to CSVs.
Okay.
So it's not a big deal. And I want to be able to support anything that we need for the registration process. Any dinner lists or whatever. Grant had a few lists, and we just need to get that all into Teams so that I can just work on it all at the same time, because I get these blocks of time that I can work on Tandy List, and I'd like to just knock out a bunch of them, just check off a list. So
Okay.
and also I think Grant said something about that we're going to do one Zoom meeting, one presentation that's going to be a Zoom meeting at the show.
Yeah, that's and I need it. I'll talk to you about that because I want to make sure we schedule that at the most convenient time for you. It's from somebody that's going to be coming in from Europe. So unfortunately, I can't say no to them because that's impossible for them to make that flight over.
Okay,
so
that's fine. I mean, I'm glad you told me, because now I can try to work out that in the tech. One of the things, I don't have a multicaster, so with Tandy Assembly, all I do is stream live to YouTube. But I know that other people do.
Yeah, I have a multicaster, so you can use mine.
Okay. I've never done that before, so I use the OBS Studio now. So
it's hooked into OBS. That's what I'm doing right now to multicast. We're multicasting to Facebook and YouTube right at the moment.
So. Okay. So and again, I'll be there all day Friday because I think I come in Thursday as well.
Okay.
Late in the evening, so that maybe we could work out some of that tech.
No problem.
Yeah, Jim Brain offered to buy everybody dinner that's coming in on Thursday, so steaks and beer on him.
Wow, nice.
I
Didn't know.
I wasn't quite aware that I did that, but let's talk. Okay, well, I kind of did things out of order. Brian, if you could put Randy's thing right above our motion and our second, because I was wrong for not asking Randy to mention the Tandy List stuff. But we have a motion on the floor and a second. And you know, if Bob were still here, he would no doubt complain that we were doing things not according to Robert's Rules of Order. But maybe I'm just doing that for him, so he can smile down from wherever. But we do have a motion on the floor and a second to end the meeting, so I'm gonna take a vote. So all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Well, I appreciate everyone joining. Point to note: it's 2 weeks for the show. We'll have a small meeting during the show. I think it's on Sunday, and then we will not be having a meeting in May. We'll pick this up again in June.
Hey, Grant, are you going to have any meetings